Last question, it is a good one. Camp Randall, it's not an 11 o'clock Central game, so the fans will be there, Gerry. You can ease up on the Wisconsin students.
Well, let's see if they show up. How do you know they're going to be there?
Last question, then. How big of a factor is Camp Randall for the Badgers?
It's a big factor for them, especially if the students show up. We know the atmosphere. We've seen this movie before. It can be rocking and rolling for a night game, especially for a big game like Ohio State. So I think it's very valuable. I also think it helps Ohio State. I was on the sidelines of Ohio State, Indiana. Ohio State was fairly flat. There wasn't great energy. These are the games where Ohio State feeds off the energy of a place like Camp Randall. So I think, Rick, Brandon, you're going to have two sky-high teams for this game.
Yeah, Brandon, I'm sure you saw it as well. You were probably there for that 2010 game. I know I mentioned it earlier in the show. It's one of the best atmospheres I've ever seen, that 31-18 win over top-ranked Ohio State. How big a factor will Camp Randall be specifically this Saturday night?
I think it'll be huge because this is one of the biggest games in a long time at Camp Randall, and this football team, to me, has already overachieved. They've already stepped beyond where people thought that they would be able to go to, and this fan base is so enamored with this football team and getting behind them and rallying behind them. You'll have people coming from all over that are Wisconsin Badger alum that will show up to this football game and will be dialed in. And I just believe it'll be an electric atmosphere. These young men are very composed. They're very composed guys who show up when the lights come on, and they'll be ready. This is a good matchup against Ohio State, and if they show up and play, it'll be a big game in the history of Wisconsin football.
So you can tell Brandon loves the 7-on-7. Former wide receiver, skill guy. Doesn't have to get hit in the 7-on-7.
Right,
don't touch me.
You prefer getting a little bit dirty to former offensive lineman.
We could have named this segment Inside Drill, but we decided to go 7-on-7.
That'll be next.